Cat Noir's Animal Crossing Adventure. Written and narrated by Eleanor Rose. Video edited by T.S. I commissioned the artwork for this video, meaning the opening and thumbnail image, from Sierra, aka Mies Monster on Instagram. You can find a link to her social media in the description box below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on the latest parts of your favorite fanfiction. Thank you for listening, and enjoy the story. Really? Here? Now? Cat Noir heard Ladybug's eye roll through her exasperated sigh and didn't bother to look up. How could he take his eyes off his beloved Tom Nook on a day as fine as this? The sun was shining, he was warm, and he now had the ability to recreate his reality in the palms of his hands. Cat Noir, not caring that he was supposed to be on patrol, played Animal Crossing on his Nintendo Switch as Ladybug poked at him for being childish during work hours, which somehow turned into a lecture about responsibilities. Blah, blah, blah. But then again, he didn't care. He stayed busy, giving Tom Nook his bells and running around shaking trees for fruit. He was tempted to give Ladybug his friend code and invite her to his island, but he didn't. This was his paradise, and his sanctuary. Animal Crossing got him through middle school, curled up with his DS playing New Leaf until the villagers asked him why he was up so late. They were his friends, at times, even if they were just pixels. He set to work around the island so he could upgrade from a tent to a house. The game was released today, so he wasn't sure if he'd be able to get that far in one day, but he would try. It was nice to see all of his favorite characters again. He hadn't seen them since before he got his ring and created a superhero identity. Granted, he lived as Cat Noir in the gaming world now. From usernames to Mii characters, Cat Noir was his persona through and through. Actually, scratch that. A house can wait. The island was in need of a new bridge, so he'd build it for them first. He wanted to get cherry and pear trees on this island, but he'd need to make it presentable before he started opening it to the public/trading resources to make his utopia just that. In fact, Cat Noir forgot Ladybug existed as he ran around with an axe, chopping down trees and digging up fossils. It was the only game that could do that for him, and he wasn't complaining. There was something beautiful about his melancholy when he played Animal Crossing. "There it is!" Ladybug said, a rumble shaking the rooftop. "Put the game away, Cat Noir. We've got work to do." With a sigh, he did what he was told. Zipping the Switch back into the case, he took off after her, ready to play the game that came with his mask. First step, assess the situation. Fish were being pulled out of water, pictures were flying out of the Louvre, and bit by bit the buildings were becoming low-poly structures. What was going on? "I am the villager!" a girl roared from the top of the Louvre. Was she an Animal Crossing character? "What do you think, Cat? Any idea what we're up against?" Ladybug asked, concealing herself behind a chimney. "I think she was playing Animal Crossing and something happened." She shot him a confused look. "You mean that game you were playing?" "Yeah. I mean, look at her. She looks like an avatar from the game." Ladybug looked at the anomalies around her. "So, something happened in-game?" "I'd say so." "Like what?" Her eyebrows furrowed as a shopkeeper was turned into a raccoon-human caricature, but Cat knew who it was. That civilian now looked like Tom Nook, beer belly and all. "Something with the museum, probably. Accidentally sold a fish instead of donating it or something silly like that." "You'd call a reaction of this nature silly?" "Good point." Even though Cat wanted to rescue this victim, he was in awe at the changing world around them. At this point, Paris looked like it was straight out of City Folk, and civilians were recognizable citizens or player-style avatars. It was like a dream come true, except there was a bit of a nightmare aspect to it. "Hey," Cat said, grabbing a digitized bug the size of his face out of the air as he leapt down. "Don't you want to give this to Blathers?" The Animal Crossing girl turned to look, eyes widening in surprise. "I haven't found one of those yet!" she exclaimed. "Here." He held out the insect as she happily skipped over, her Akumatized switch in hand. He had to time this right. Taking a breath in as a KK slider plucked away in the background, he struck. "Cataclysm!" he yelled, grabbing onto her switch as she screamed in protest. "Bye-bye, little butterfly," Ladybug said, flying in. Cat watched, a bit forlorn, as the city returned to normal. It was a shame, really. He wouldn't have minded spending the day collecting bugs and fish as an alternative to appease this Akumatized victim, but the mask came with responsibility, and he couldn't afford to lose the game installed on it. "What's your friend code?" Cat asked, helping the victim to her feet. "I'll invite you to my island if you'd like. Then we can catch some fish together or something." Eyes wide, the victim nodded, pulling up her information to share. It turns out she had quite the elaborate island, despite only having the game for a day. And Cat knew he'd have fun exploring it when he got the chance. "That was a nice thing you did there," Ladybug said as they waved goodbye to the victim as she was taken into a debriefing. "Thanks," he said, ring beeping. "What game is it again?" "Animal Crossing." "You like it?" "My favorite. It's what got him through losing his mom." "Then I guess I'll give it a try. Any tips?" Her earrings beeped as he began to reply. "You know what?" he said. "Give it a try on your own, and then we'll talk. I want you to have as an authentic experience as possible." "Whatever you say, kitty." She took a few roll steps back before zipping away, leaving him to make sure he had his switch before returning home. But he didn't return home. Instead, he swung by Leon's cheese store to replenish Plag's needs, then made himself at home on a sunny rooftop to play his game, dressed in a mask and black leather. Yeah, this was good. This was a source of comfort for his melancholy heart, and for now, everything was okay so long as he stared at his sanctuary through a screen. Cat Noir was ready to have his own Animal Crossing adventure. Thank you so much for listening, and once again, thank you goes out to Sierra, aka Mies Monster, on Instagram, for the artwork I commissioned. You can find a link to her social media in the description box below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Also, here's my friend code. Add me and we can play. Bye!